Krishna. Welcome back to the series Nimai's Adventures. Today we are reading chapter 18, Nimai and the Cooking Pots. As Molly wandered away, he thought carefully about what he had heard through the clock. After walking for a while, the mouse looked up to find himself next to a row of little houses. He recognized one house in particular from his visit a few days before. It was Nimai's old house, a beautiful little cottage with a big courtyard in the front. The little mouse went closer to get a better look at the courtyard. Stretched out in front of him was a large area of land with a nice covering for protection from the sun. Inside the courtyard were big pots and a little pond with lilies floating on the surface. The big neem tree that he had talked to, Om the owl, also towered in the courtyard. Molly heard a rustle behind him and turned around to see a golden-looking deer peering at him with gorgeous brown eyes. The creature spotted Molly staring back and ran away, obviously very shy. Molly noticed the deer hiding behind the tree and approached it slowly, saying, "I am a friendly mouse. Please come out and talk." Sensing Molly to be kind, the deer emerged from the tree and spoke quietly. "My name is Deera. What is your name?" Molly smiled softly and said, "My name is Molly. I was told to come and find you by Filu the peacock. He said you were here watching a special pastime of Nimai. Would you be so kind as to share it with me, Deera?" Like all the other animals Molly had previously spoken to, Deera's eyes lit up upon hearing Nimai's name. "Of course, I was here when the pastime with Nimai and the cooking pots happened, right here in this very courtyard." Becoming more comfortable with Molly, Deera came close to him and invited Molly to sit on its back. "Listen carefully, dear Molly. One day, after Nimai and his friends had performed countless of naughty pranks, Nimai wandered home in search of more mischief. His father, Jagannath Mishra, had gone away for a few days for work, and Nimai knew that this was an excellent time to make more chaos in the house. In the courtyard of his home, there was a big stack of clay pots to throw away. These were the pots that Sachimata used for cooking the boga they offered to Lord Vishnu. Nimai climbed the pile of pots, moving quickly and carefully to reach the top. His little toes balanced on the edge of the stack, and his arms swung to and fro. When he reached the top of the pile, he sat on the pots as if he was a king, and the stack of pots was his royal throne and smiled playfully. Nimai's golden skin was spotted with a black soot coming from the dirty pots, and this made him look even more charming than he normally was. His curly hair was tied in a knot on top of his head, and he was wearing bright yellow cloth, which was also decorated with smudges of soot. "What happened when Mother Sachi found out Nimai on top of the pots?" Molly exclaimed in an excited voice. "Well," Deera continued, "some of Mother Sachi's friends saw naughty little Nimai sitting on top of the pots and ran quickly to inform his mother about what his son was up to. 'Mother Sachi,' the ladies exclaimed, 'your son is sitting on top of used clay pots that we cook in.' To her surprise, Mother Sachi ran into the courtyard to find her child exactly where the ladies had said he was. 'Nimai, get down at once,' she scolded. 'Do you not know when something is dirty or clean after you touch dirty things? You know that you must take a bath. I have taught you what suchi and muchi is. In Sanskrit, a clean place is called suchi and a dirty place is called muchi.' Nimai heard his mother and then, in an upset voice, replied, 'If you do not let me go to school and learn, then how am I supposed to know the difference between what is suchi and muchi? I am uneducated. If these pots were used for cooking for Vishnu, how could they be dirty or muchi? Does that mean that the boga is suchi since it was cooked in these pots? Does offering it to Vishnu make it suchi then? What defines something as muchi? What defines something as suchi? This does not make any sense. My dear, How am I supposed to know the difference if I'm uneducated? If you do not let me go to school to learn and study, how am I supposed to know the difference between Muchi and Suchi? After his small speech, Nimai smiled cheekily down at his mother and the ladies. Come down, Nimai. You must go for a bath at once, his mother told him once again. Nimai and Sachimata went back and forth, but Nimai refused to leave. Curious to know what would make Nimai eventually come down, Molly asked Dira, so how come did Nimai come down from the boats? Did his mother finally manage to convince him to come down and take a bath? Well, Nimai firmly told his mother, I will not come down until you let me study. With a frown on his face, he stubbornly crossed his little arms. Mother Sachi herself had to climb the pots to bring her young son down and then took him for a bath. While Nimai was having his bath, his father returned home, and Sachimata, in great worry, told him everything that has happened. She told him how Nimai was very upset at not being allowed to study. Finally, Sachimata and Jagannath Mishra had a long discussion. They sought the advice of neighboring neighbors and eventually decided that Nimai should go back to school for his own benefit and the benefit of the entire world. Wow, Molly thought after hearing the end of the story. Nimai was excellent and had such a magical, wonderful life. Everything was extra special. Molly thanked Dira repeatedly for telling him such a beautiful pastime. They wished each other a goodbye, and Molly carried on with his journey. Madhura Ki Jai!
Join us tomorrow to see what Mali the Mouse gets up to.